Hello, and you're really welcome to the Parish of Antrim Revival podcast with me, Father James. The podcast when I sit and chill out and chat to my mates and talk about life. Really delighted today we have with us a great mate of mine, a great brother, a follower of Jesus and youth worker. So we're going to be talking all about how we believe we can help young people connect back to the church, what a post-pandemic church looks like, and what does revival mean. So hope you enjoy.
So everybody, this is my friend Christopher, or Cricky Donnan. Cricky, you're really welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers for having me, bro. Thank you.
So for those who haven't, for those who don't know what we're doing, so we've started a podcast, a weekly segment called the Parish of Antrim Revival podcast. And so it's me just chatting to my mates and seeing where it goes. So I'm delighted to have Cricky on with me today. And so Cricky, over to you. Now tell us who are you?
Yeah. How are you doing, guys? My name's Christopher, although in my profession and around my mates, I'm more commonly known as Cricky. If you're struggling to say Cricky, it's just like the name Ricky, only with a C on top of it. I'm a youth worker. I work for an organisation called Youth Initiatives in West Belfast. I help run their 11 to 14s program, so P7 to third year. I'm also a brother, I'm a child, I'm a friend of James's, of course. Jamesy, I think that's enough.
Yep. Yeah, enough to get us started. And I've known Christopher, Cricky. Well, we'll just call him for convenience sake, Christopher. I've known Christopher for a long time, and I was trying to remember the first time I met you, and it must have been when you were just a wee young person in YI. You were involved in YI as a youth initiatives, rather, as a young person yourself, since the age of what, 10 or 11?
So I first came whenever I was 11 to a summer scheme. And then dipped out. But James, I probably wouldn't have met you until I was about 15. So a little bit later on. People very often mistaken. This is like Tony does this as well, who's our CEO. Thinks that I came through our 11 to 14th program. I actually joined just when I was 15, when I was 4th or 5th year in school. So I was a little bit later on in the game.
Brilliant. Oh, there you go. I didn't realize that. And so, Christopher, during this lockdown period, it must be a bit different for a youth worker. So what have you been up to?
Yeah, it's definitely challenging. I'm an absolute pro at Zoom. I'm working with people on Zoom. I use Zoom at least every day, sometimes 3-4 times a day. So a lot of it's on Zoom, but I think that's great. For a personal touch and working with young people, and they get to see your face and you get to speak to each other. But really, a big part of my week is about trying to find different ways to entertain young people whenever they're bored. So on our Facebook and on our Instagram, I put up a lot of videos. Sometimes it's just me doing some karaoke all by myself. Sometimes it's myself and a girl that I work with, Leah. We do challenges with each other. I even sometimes do challenges with my housemate, Matt. And on a Friday, I run my very own podcast, the YI podcast. So it's a busy week, still very busy throughout lockdown, but just done very differently than the young people coming into the centre. And it's very sad at times because you want, nothing more than to play a big game of, Go Ninja Go or bombing bridges, but actually you've got to think about what you can do on Zoom, Yeah.
And Craig, I know that young people really relate to you, and I've seen you at work, and had the privilege of journeying to Medjugorje at one point with you, which was a great week of engaging with young people. And so you're a young man, you're a young Catholic man.
Yeah.
originally from Poglass, like myself. Shout out to Poglassers. And
Yes, bye.
so tell me, just any thoughts you might have about how and ways that young people can maybe engage with the parish or engage with the church. And obviously I'm talking kind of post-lockdown at this stage, whenever we're able to do that, if you have any thoughts.
Yeah. I'll give you one. I'll give you one. As we're now, and the rest will be post lockdown. I think one thing that you've been doing, James, well on the parish of Antrim is letting young people into seeing James as human. Do you get me? I think a lot of times, and I experienced this myself as a young person. It wasn't actually until James became a priest, and for the very first time, I had a personal relationship with a priest. We view them as like these people that we just can't have a relationship with, or we can only have a relationship with on a Sunday. So I think throughout lockdown, if priests all around Northern Ireland just continue to invite young people into what their lives are like, outside of mass, and I think a great way that you do that, James, is through things like Kids Church, which myself and my housemate live for every single Friday, watch an episode of Kids Church. But I think what definitely helped me when I was a young person, which I think the church can definitely bring a lot more into how they do youth work as a church, is question and answers. When I was a young person, I didn't know a lot about the Catholic Church other than what my mom taught me, and half it probably wasn't correct, But if you give a space for young people to openly ask questions, but also ask questions anonymously, and then do that as I think that's a good way to start a group, like a prayer group on whatever day really, for a priest to kind of open that up. And then it kind of upsets me that I look around so many parishes, and this is including the parish that I attend also, and I see that there's no actual, I know that there's the Living Youth guys are doing amazing things, but there's no, youth group as such, or that I know of. So if I don't know about it and I'm going to mass every Saturday night, then I doubt that any young people know about it. Other than children's liturgy, there's nothing really for young people to get involved in. And what I like to say, you can't leave this all to priests to do. It's just impossible. You guys are stretched way too thin. I would like to see people within the parish stepping up and being like, I'm willing to lead a youth group once a week for an hour, get young people together, have some pizza, do some of the things that you've been doing, James, like DTS, Dead Theologians Society. That stuff resonates with young people. People think that young people don't care about faith anymore, because it's boring, but actually I think their spirituality is something that's super important to them whenever they're young, and they want to learn more about it. And I definitely think some groups can set up within parishes is definitely a way to address some of that stuff.
Brilliant. I mean, that was a brilliant answer, Chris. Thanks very much. And I absolutely think you're right about the need of for sometimes to step up, and people, like even in this parish, people are great and are involved in many different ways, but there's almost like a fear in some ways around kind of working with young people and doing that. But like the amount of gifts and talents sitting in the pews of people who maybe with a bit of encouragement might be able to step up. So thank you for that. Brilliant. That was great. So my next question for you, Cricky, is, so we're currently in lockdown. We're currently in the midst of this pandemic, and it's horrible. And, with the people dying, and not only that, the kind of unemployment and people worried about financially and different things, and post-lockdown, I've no doubt about it. Whenever we come out of this, and God be good to us in the future, what do you think? What do you see as a post? And you've maybe answered this a little bit in your last question, but what do you see a post-lockdown church looking like?
One of my big hopes, what I've seen during lockdown, is people are starting to come back to their churches. And that's amazing. And I think part of that is because it's done online and they can do it from the comfort of their own home. But that buzzing feeling that people have, I hope that they remain to have that post lockdown when churches are open back up. And I pray to God that the Holy Spirit really does do work within there, and we see our churches packed out. That's going to be a nightmare for social distancing, I'm sure. But I really hope that some churches really need to look at, how many masses they're actually offering, because they need to accommodate to all these people. So that's just a hope and something that I pray a lot into. And I hope that people actually, have a space to get more involved in their parish. I'm on a journey myself in my parish, and I was heartbroken that the very last mass before lockdown, I finally just gave it up and signed up for my little brown envelopes. I wasn't able to go and collect them the next week. I was like, oh no! I was like, I'm so well, so now I have an online transaction thing set up and we're all good. But I hope people then see this, as the church is opening up, as a time to actually get involved in the church. I like in churches to see different readers every other week, rather than the same, Mary who sits in the front row and goes up and reads it. I want people to get involved in their parishes. And then this is one for the parishes, and this is one that I'm also struggling with. So this is for all the priests out there. When lockdown ends, that does not mean our online presence has to end. I'm thinking about this from a youth work perspective as well. I'm doing so much online stuff. That doesn't have to end when lockdown ends. So I'd love to still see episodes of Kids Church Up when lockdown ends. I'd love to still see masses being live streamed with people, hopefully with people in the church then. For those who are too sick to go to mass, can actually stream it. I hope that the online presence still actually is within there, James. And I must say, brother, you're doing a great job. You and the whole parish, there's a whole team of you are doing a great job with the online stuff at the minute, and I hope that actually stays. I always say that the parish of Antrim is my online parish, my COVID-19 parish.
Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. It's definitely different. And I think you're right. There's definitely a place for online ministry and how we do that, because really our hand was forced. I look after our Facebook page, and I wasn't very active at times, because you're just doing everything and you kind of forgot. But now that, we're masses up every day and rosaries up every day and kids church and just wee videos and different things, and it's a real evangelistic tool. It really is. And but please God, people will be in the pews before too long as well.
Yeah.
Christopher, we're flying through this at a much quicker rate than I expected, but the answers have just been great. And look, my last question is one that I primed you about, because it's a bit of a weird question. Like, something that's on my heart is revival. And what does that mean? Part of me is like, I'm not sure if I know exactly what that means. But, the revival is just a move of God, a move of God's Spirit, where God is doing something new in His church. And so what I'm asking at the end of each chat is, what does the word revival mean for you?
Yeah, this is for all the gamers out there. Everyone that knows me knows that I'm a massive Pokemon fan. I love Pokemon. I don't know why. If you don't know what Pokemon is, go and research it. But what happens in Pokemon is, if your little monster runs out of health, you can use a revive to restore its health. And that's exactly what I think revival is. Revival is to restore something that's already there.
Yeah.
Spirituality is within all of us, but we need it revived. And it's, that loss of faith or that loss in health can happen to anybody. It happens to us every day almost, I would say,
Yeah.
But actually we have hope and trust in God to be our revive, to be our revival, and to build us back up to who we once were, who we're meant to be. And then I would almost say that when we're at one in heaven with him. We're at the, that's the end goal, really.
So so you're saying revival begins in each one of us. With allowing God to transform us from the inside out. Is that what you mean? Like, what's already there? That's actually really interesting. I haven't heard it that way before. One of Francis last week, he talked about revival as being a community thing, and that's another aspect of it. So that's really good, really interesting. Christopher, that's us. Now, we flew through my questions. Have you any? Here, last week, whenever we were doing our mic check, me and you went a bit viral with our response to the Hail Mary, which was hilarious. So you've already part of this was the people had already seen you online, and so it was good that they got to see. He is this rocket. It's my mate. So Cricky, Christopher, thank you so much for coming on, and I'm sure I'll see you very soon. Okay, God bless.
No worries, James. Anytime, brother.